Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Okay. Along that vein, seems to be a night. Last year in September, I took a walk in my favorite place in Oakland, and it was Friday the 13th. And this place is 226 acres of beautifully landscaped rolling hills and trees and flowers. And this, in fact, the park is designed by the same man who designed Central Park in New York, Frederick Law Olmsted. But in this case, it isn't a park, it's a cemetery. It's Mountain View Cemetery. And I know some people find that creepy, but I love cemeteries. And Mountain View Cemetery has some famous occupants. We've got the Folgers, we got the Crockers, we've got the Ghirardellis, and we even have Elizabeth Short, who was also known as the Black Dahlia. Now, next to this cemetery is the Chapel of the Chimes Columbarium. Columbarium is where they store people's ashes, and that's where my father's ashes are interred. And I usually go to the Columbarium after my walks in the cemetery. It's a beautiful place designed by Julia Morgan. It's a maze of tranquil gardens and cloisters and fountains and chapels. And as I'm passing the Columbarium and I head into the cemetery, I noticed that there's a funeral going on at Chapel of the Chimes, which I'm gonna, give them a wide berth. So I go on and I do some exploring at the cemetery, and I'm really proud of myself. I finally found the grave of the Black Dahlia, and I'm really excited because I like this history stuff. Now, not far from where I'm sitting, there's a girl sitting underneath a tree. She has long brown hair, she's in a ponytail. She's wearing black bike shorts and a pink jersey, like for bicyclists. She's in her early 20s. Now, I'm the kind of person that strikes up conversations easily, so I walk over there because I really want to share this discovery with somebody. But I noticed that she's really quiet and staring down at her lap, and I think, oh, well, she's a cemetery. She might be here, mourning somebody who died recently. So I go on and finish my walk. Now, before I head to the Columbarium, I want to get flowers from my father's niche. And I walked to the corner florist and I bought some marigolds, pretty bright yellow and orange marigolds. And as I'm enjoying my little bouquet, I step out to cross the street, and a black sedan ran a red light and he almost killed me. He came careening down Piedmont Avenue. I couldn't see the driver. Crazy stuff. So I go back to the Chapel of the Chimes and I see that the funeral has ended. So I slip inside, and the quiet in there, in that place, just overwhelms you. And my father's niche is up a flight of stairs in the California room, so I zip up there. As I enter the California room with my marigolds, I saw the young woman. It was the same woman from the cemetery. And now she's looking around and she looks confused, and there's rows and rows of niches and there's hallways. Now I feel like I really know her by now. So, oh, hi, how are you? How are you lost? I know this place is a mess. It's hard to find, and I'm just chatting away. And then I ask her, can I help you? And she doesn't answer at first. But then she says, Haggerty? Yeah, I'm still chatting away. Well, I haven't seen a Haggerty in this room, but I know there's some Irish families over there in the Chapel of the Cross room. If you go down this hall and then you go left where the skylights are, you'll see a lot of Irish people in there, and maybe they're in there. I didn't know who she was looking for. And she goes in that direction, and I go over to take my marigolds to my daddy's niche, and I don't see her anymore. And when I leave the chapel, or the California room, the chapel where the funeral was held is quiet, and everybody's gone. It looks like it's it's done with. So I take a look around the chapel. There are large stands of flowers, collages of pictures, and the pictures seem to be of young friends and family of the dearly departed. So I walk over to the pictures, and suddenly a woman in her 50s stands up from a pew and walks over. I was startled because I didn't see her. She looks very Jackie Kennedy. I'm so sorry to intrude on your loss. I love this chapel, and I was just curious about the funeral here. Do you mind me asking who died? Oh, that's fine. It was my daughter who died in a bicycle accident. Very close by, actually. A black car hit her, running a red light. They never found out who did it. It's right up the corner, by the way, by the florist shop. Okay, so I'm getting goosebumps. I was like, but it must be a coincidence. She and I step closer to the pictures, and I see one that catches my eye. I point. Who is that woman? It's the woman in the brown hair with a ponytail on a bike with black bike shorts and a pink jersey. Oh, that's our Janice, our daughter, she says. I'm certain. Listen, ma'am, I don't mean to freak you out, but I can swear that I saw a woman who looks just like her out in the cemetery and then up in the columbarium. But it really must be a coincidence. Well, she was a lovely girl, evidently, and thank you so much for sharing this with me, ma'am. Mrs. Haggerty. I'm Mrs. Haggerty. Okay.
Wow. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Okay, so seriously, was that true?
About 70% of it's true.
Okay.
Scary part.